Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I am finally making the tier list. Yes and no, I'm a month too late, but hey, it's here now. And I also put it a vote on Twitter, and most of you wanted to do after the new killer in December, but since I'm out of video ideas and I kinda want to make something about Dead by Daylight, I just decided to do one before and after, like he said. I'm gonna be ranking every single killer from 3.3.0, or basically after the nurse nerf, which is very sad to be honest. But anyway, let's jump right into it, and let's start off with my favorite killer, Huntress. This is actually one of my favorite killers to play. It's because she can just throw hatchets and just hit survivors and do damage. It's really fun to do, and I actually really like her. She is a quite skilled killer, so you need a lot of skill to play her. But she has a broken hitbox on her hatchet. Sometimes it should have hit, sometimes it should have definitely not hit, and she's probably one of the only killer that can literally end a chase in 2 or 3 seconds. It's quite insane. You can also just try and throw a hatchet randomly and hope you hit a survivor, but that only happens in Twitch clips. I think Huntress is a very good killer to play, and I think she definitely deserves an A tier. Next up is Leatherface, and this is actually not really a good killer. He's just basically a killer with just an M1 killer, and if he's lucky he can just instantly den a survivor. There's not really much good to say about Leatherface, except for maybe that he's a very good, one of the best campers in the game, and that he can just destroy pilots instantly, but other than that, he's pretty bad. His chainsaw never really works, and if it does, it's probably because the survivor couldn't find a pallet, didn't have a pallet, or there was no window nearby. So it really all depends on luck. But I would rate Leatherface C tier actually. Sorry Leatherface, I think you deserve a small buff. Next up is the Doctor, and I really like Doctor because he can just instantly find all the survivors, and it's very nice to be honest. He has a power which, if you hit someone with that power, they are basically not allowed to do anything for 1.5 seconds. So they cannot drop pallets, they cannot fold windows, and they just cancel any animation that they're doing, like folding pallets. So there are 3 tiers. The first tier is just one scream and that's about it. The second tier, then crazy stuff starts to happen, and tier 3 is just an absolute nightmare for them. Luckily they can snap out of it, but not really lucky for us. Basically what tier 2 and tier 2 does is clones of the Doctor will just randomly appear, and they will sometimes scream in tier 3. And depending on your add-ons that you have. Other than that, Doctor is a very good tracker, a bit mediocre in chasing, and with Gen slowing down, he is probably one of the best in the game other than Pig. I would definitely rate him in the B tier. Next up is Freddy Krueger, or the Nightmare in Dead by Daylight. So Freddy has 2 different kind of powers. One of his powers is some kind of ball thingy, dream snare, I don't know what that thing is. But if a survivor steps on it and he or she is in dream, then she basically just slows down. Another power is dream pallets. Then if the survivor is in the dream state, he or she cannot drop the pallet, or he or she can drop the pallet, but it's gonna just disappear when it's dropped. So it's pretty nice. Only choose one of those 2 powers, but the power that you always get for sure is teleporting to generators. It basically just says it in the name. You can just teleport to generators, but it just takes a while before you can get there, and it will perform an animation so the survivors will know that you're coming. You can also just cancel it, so the survivors will think you're coming, but you're actually not coming, and then you can do some kind of sneak attack, or you can just not come there and just slow the game down just a little bit. It's quite nice. In general, Freddy has great map control, a good power, both of the powers are very good, and it would definitely put him in the A tier. Quite crazy. Up is the Pig. And Pig, I actually really like Pig. Even though she got a nerf that she cannot kill survivors that have a trap on their head when they try to leave and it's not activated, but I still quite like her. She's still pretty good at slowing down gens, and her crunch attack is still pretty good in my opinion. But the problem is she doesn't really have a power in chase, and that's basically the only problem she has. Or she just needs a buff back from back in the day that survivors cannot leave and have the trap on her head. But I kinda like Meg. I don't think she's the worst killer. I don't think she's actually the best. I think she's like a bit below average. I would put her on C tier. Next up is the Clown. And I used to really hate Clown, like a lot. I didn't like his power, I didn't like anything about him. Except for his bamboozle and slowing down Jen's Pops Goes the Weasel, it's called. Wow. But after playing him a while, I actually started to like him. I started to like Bamboozle, I started to like his power, and I started understanding him. I think the only reason why I didn't like him is because I didn't know how to play him, but now I do. Okay, so his power is basically you just throw a bottle and then pink fog will just appear. And when a survivor steps in that pink fog, their location will be revealed, or they will just scream and you know where they are. They get bird vision, and the best of all three of them is that they get slowed down, which makes him one of the best in infinite and pallet looping. Other than that, he's pretty bad at map controlling, and he doesn't really have a way in slowing down gens, but in chase he's probably one of the best, and compared to Huntress, it's not really much, to be honest. Like, Huntress can do some kind of map control thingy to throw a hatchet at a generator and maybe hit him, but that's with a lot of luck. But if Clown does it, it's just, oh, someone's there, yeah. But yeah, I would probably vote him in the B tier. I think Huntress is a bit better than him. Next up is the Hag. And Hag, I actually really like Hag. Hag's power is to basically just place traps, and she starts with 10 traps. She can place all of those traps around the map, and when you run out of them, you can still place them, but the first one you placed will be gone. Or the earliest one you placed will be gone. Or disappear, or whatever. But when a survivor steps on a trap, it makes a lot of noise. You can teleport to that trap, and the screen of the survivor will like spin around a bit, like in a jump scary way. Other than that, Hag is actually fairly good at basically everything. He's a bit good at map controlling, a bit good at chase, and pretty good at, well, everything. Even slowing down gens, actually, with her amazing map control. I would definitely put her in A tier. I mean, she really deserves it. She's really good. Next up is Billy. Billy has insane map control, even more than Hag, except if it's the game map or the game. Did I just say the game map? Except if it's the game map or if it's Larry's, then he doesn't. But his power is a very simple one, actually. He uses a chainsaw, and when it's fully revved, or whatever it's called, activated, I don't know, he will go at insane speed, and when you hit the survivor with that survivor will instantly go to the dying state, like instantly. Except if he has overtime, then it doesn't. But other than that, Hillbilly is one of the best killers in the game right now. But in my opinion, Hillbilly is one of the best at map control. He is super good in chase, and he has an extra lunge, and that extra lunge is just broken. I mean, I can just hit survivors through windows with that thing. I would definitely put him in S tier. Next up is the Spirits. 99% of the community doesn't like Spirits. This is actually the best game I could get with Spirits. This was literally the only one. There was literally one disconnect in this game even. The other ones were just 4 disconnects, 3 disconnects, or just a farming game because I couldn't do anything. But anyway, Spirit's power is the ability to kind of teleport you. Or actually it's not really teleporting. You just go into a state which takes a while to go into. And then the survivors cannot see you. And you cannot see the survivors. Now the problem with this killer is you can literally bump into survivors. You can literally just go around and then just bump into a survivor and then, oh, there's a survivor. I can just go out of it and just slap him and get a free hit. It's really dumb. They should just get rid of that. It's so dumb. And you can even hear them. Like, if they're injured, you can just hear, like, super loud noises. You can even hear those footsteps And you can even see the grass moving, so you know exactly where they are. In my opinion, Spirit has a stupid broken power. I would put him in SS there, just because she's so goddamn broken. Even the game wanted me to play him so badly, like I got 2 missions for her. Next up is the Plague. Plague, I kinda like Plague, just a little bit. I don't really like him, but also not, no I don't like him, like just in between that. But Plague, I don't know how you say that, just saying. He either has a mediocre power or a insanely good power. It depends what the survivors do. So, what I think about Plague, I don't know how to say that, whatever. I'm just gonna call him Plague, you know, it's easier to say than Plague. So Plague's power is to vomit on survivors. It sounds disgusting, it is disgusting, and it gets more disgusting. So you vomit on survivors and they get sick. You can make them so sick so that they go in an injured, broken state, and then they cannot get out of it except if they cleanse. Now, here comes the problem for Plague. Most survivors, or most good survivors, don't cleanse, because if they cleanse, the Plague will get an insanely broken power that can literally wipe the team in like 2 seconds. So yeah, it's just vomit that does damage. It's basically a Huntress that has unlimited ammo and easy aim. I mean, it's insane. That's why survivors never really cleanse. And if they do, then they're basically done. They're just ripped. Then, yeah, ripped team. So that's why I always bring an apple, because apple just gives you a free cleansing thingy. So how I always play Plague is to bring an apple and then make everyone sick and bring rune and stuff that slows down generators. And then make everyone in a broken state and then take the power from a cleanse. And then just go all out on those survivors. Just destroy them all. It's my favorite playstyle. But most of the time it doesn't really work, because with gen rushing these days it just goes way too fast. It's just impossible to do, but if it does, he is basically one of the best killers in the game. Other than that, for now I'm gonna put her in B tier. Next up is a nurse. So for the ones that don't know, nurse got a nerf. And the nerf didn't look big at first, but actually it's quite a big nerf. So basically there's cooldown on her blinks and all her add-ons changed. At first I thought, oh yeah, that's okay, but then I noticed which add-ons got changed. And of course it were the good ones, like the blink, the extra blink and the extra range and stuff. Now they're all gone, even the bad ones are gone. Now there are like mediocre, okay and bad ones. Well, there's a few good ones though, like teleporting back. That's quite okay. Okay, back to the power. So nurse power is to teleport, literally teleport. You hold your hands with your right leg or ability power or whatever it's called. And then the longer you hold it in, the further she goes. If she closes her hands, you will not go any further. Now here's the thing that makes her the best killer. She can go through walls with that. So she can ignore pallets, windows, and she can just ignore distance. And that made her one of the best killers in the game. But now it's a nerf, she has a cooldown, so distance will be a bit harder to catch up. And it will take a little longer to chase, but for everything else it's still quite okay-ish. Except for the blinks being gone. And also the charge time being a bit slower. But for the rest, I think Nurse is still a pretty okay killer. Like, not really a B tier. I think she still deserves an A tier. Next up is the Ghostface. Yeah, the Ghostface for some reason. So, I have heard a lot of things about Ghostface. Some say he's bad, some say he's mediocre, some say he's good, some say he's overpowered, and I think he's pretty good. So Ghostface power is the Night Shroud. What this power does is make his terror radius 0 and unlocks the ability to stalk survivors. When he stalks survivors, a small circle will appear in the bottom left screen. When that circle is full, the survivor will get the exposed status effect. If you don't know what that is, you can just one-hit them and they will be down. This is really handy if you just want to get a lot of survivors at once that are on gens. So this Gorgon's is a very good perk on him. Other than that, he doesn't really have a lot of power in chase and anything else. He's pretty good at slowing down gens because of his cells, but other than that, he doesn't really have a way of slowing down the game. But I still think he's good. He can just grab survivors and instantly get a free hook, and stalking survivors and giving them exposed status effect is still pretty okay. Even getting 0 terror radius is also pretty nice, but I do suggest to get something that will get his power back faster. Other than that, I think Ghostface should be A or B tier. I'm not sure which one. I think A tier for now. You can change my mind in the comments, but for now it's A tier. Next up is a Gorgon. And I really like Gorgon. He's one of my favorite killers other than Huntress actually. Like, he's second place on my favorite killer list. Anyway, his power. His power is to basically put powers around the map. When he stands on a portal, he can teleport to another portal and get an undetectable effect. So you cannot hear his heartbeat or see his red stain. Which is really nice to get a grab, but most of the time it doesn't really work because they know you're coming and stuff. And then he also has a power in shades, which is really nice. He just does some kind of lunge, and that lunge is just insanely far. It is very good to get a pallet destroyed and to get a good hit. I really like him, and like really, I would put him at A tier. Next up is a Shape. And Shape or Michael Myers, I actually quite like him, especially the movies. I really like the Halloween movies. Anyway, so the Shape's power is to stalk survivors. When he stalks a lot, he will go into a different tier. So I'm gonna explain every single tier. So tier 1 is the first tier he gets, and also in the beginning. It makes him undetectable, so he has 0 terror radius and no red stain. But he's also a bit slower than most killers. He has a speed of 108%, which is 8% faster than survivors and 7% slower than an average killer. When he stalks a survivor enough, he will go into tier 2. This will make him basically just a normal killer with a smaller heartbeat. And then when you stalk even more, he will go into tier 3, which makes him a very powerful killer. When you are in tier 3, your lunge increases, your terror radius becomes normal, and your full speed increases. And the best of all, you give them the exposed effect. It's a bit like the Ghostface, but a bit different. But you cannot have tier 3 forever. It will go away after 60 seconds in default. It will be longer depending on your add-ons. But the Shape also has a special kind of add-ons like Scratch Mirror, for example. Then he cannot get out of tier 1. But he can look through walls, which is very nice in Larry's Memorial Institute or the game app. And then he also has the Insta-Kill, or the Tombstone. Then he can just grab survivors and instantly kill them. Like, boom, get out of the game. They're gone. They're just, boom, dead. And that makes him actually a very powerful killer. Especially with Play with Your Food. But it does take a while to get it, so probably 4 gens will be done until you get to tier 3 probably. But anyway, I will put him in A tier. I think he's a very good killer and he's very fun to play with. Next up is a Trapper. And if it wasn't for this video, I would have probably put him in C tier. But after making that video, I actually started to like Trapper and understand his power and everything. And now I might have changed my opinion. But anyway, his power is to place traps. What a surprise! Anyway, so he places traps, and when a survivor steps on the trap, he becomes immobilized. He will be revealed, he will make a notification, and you can just pick him up. That's about it. But you can use his power at windows and pallets, so they cannot use them. A very popular one is in the Killer Shack. Most trappers place them there, but I only place them at the window and sometimes at the side. Other than that, I think Trapper is a very good killer in the right hands and is a very good beginning killer. I would definitely put him in B tier. He's very fun to play. Next up is Mr. Bing Bong. So I actually used to be a Wraith main because he's actually one of the best killers to start playing other than Trapper and Leatherface. Anyway, his power. So Wraith has a pretty meh-ish power. So his power is to basically turn invisible, which sounds really good, but you need to do a bing bong, which makes it a bit worse actually. Because when survivors hear like bing bong, they can hear the direction where it's coming from. So they know, oh, he's coming from that way, I should run that way. So I think that yellow add-on that makes it random should be in default. So it should be better. Anyway, RoyZ is good at getting someone injured right from the start, but then still is an M1 killer for the rest of the chase. So yeah, not really the best in my opinion. So RoyZ is a very, very, very good tracker. A pretty bad at slowing down gens. Okay-ish map control, especially with the speed add-ons. And then it's a bit better, but it's still okay-ish. And his power and chase sometimes help. That little boost after the bing bong is actually quite nice and can help with some insane lunges. Other than that, I think RoyZ definitely deserves a seat here. And that was the tier list. I didn't forget any killer except for the new Oni killer, but I'm not counting him yet because he's not officially in the game yet. He's in PDB. If I would put him in the tier list now, he would be S tier. And other than that, I didn't forget a single killer.
What about me?
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the tier list. I really want to hear your opinion in the comments as well. And yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed this video.
Wait, no, get back here, I'm not done yet, you dumb.
Goodbye. Alright, fine. Legion.
Finally.
So, I didn't really want to talk about Legion because he's just a stupid killer. I mean, seriously, his power is stupid. He is, I mean, I hate him. So his power is to basically just go into frenzy mode, and when he hits a survivor, all survivors within his terror radius get revealed, and that survivor he hit it will go in an injured state and a deep wound, which the survivor needs to mend, which takes about 20 seconds. Now that's really good to slow the game down a lot, but I mean like he has no power in chase, so he's very, 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 very boring to play against and with, so I really hate this killer and everything, and that's why he's
No, I am clearly assessed here.
Okay, bye. Have a great day and everything. Bye.